Hello friends, this is Archana. I came online personally to thank all of you from the core of my heart to be a part of this 21-day meditation challenge. And I know this is a very tedious process and it was really challenging and not many people come so far. So congratulations to those who have made it so far. And I call this tedious and challenging because it's so difficult to establish a routine within our daily life, even taking that 15-20 minutes out and do it on a consistent basis. So I really appreciate all of you being here, and it was a fantastic journey and the energy of the group. So the final task of the group is so special that I came personally online to encourage all of you to complete the task. So as it's written, what you have to do is you have to pen down your thoughts and read it out loud and create a video, or if you're camera shy, you can create an audio and just upload it on the YouTube and put the link here. So what happens is when you read your thoughts out loud, it has a different impact and a better impact as opposed to when you just write it down. And if this doesn't work for you, you can just write it down and send it here. The audio or the video can anywhere be from 1 minute to 5 minutes. And so you can introduce yourself, tell us which country you live in, and if you're comfortable, what do you do for living. And just tell how did you find this journey over the 28 days, any changes that you felt within yourself or challenges you faced and how you overcome that. So I mean, it's just so wonderful that we start one journey and how our mind changes or how we develop a habit. So I really want you to make others also understand what you felt. So the whole purpose of this group was to just show you that it's so very easy to develop a practice of any kind of yoga or meditation just by yourselves, without going and paying hefty sums of money to any organization or any gurus. And just by little guidance, everyone can achieve this routine. And it's all about developing a routine, a habit of sitting by yourselves and concentrating it. So basically, we just practice concentration in this journey. So there are only two things you need for this kind of practice. One is like your sincere dedication, and you have to find a dedicated time every day, and that zeal to do it on a regular basis should be on and on. And more you do it, more you get that zeal to get up and do it every day. And the second thing you need for developing any kind of practice is a little bit of detachment from the results of the action. So when I say detachment from the result, that doesn't mean that you don't have a goal or you don't have a result in mind. It means that you don't have to worry about the result, like, oh, am I reaching that stage, or am I achieving that calmness of the mind? You don't have to worry. You just have to think about and do things every day on a daily basis rather than worrying about what's going to happen in future. So why this is important, why this mind management is important. Lots of times in our daily life happens is we get so stressed out with little things in our life or what's happening around us in our day-to-day life, office or home, and sometimes we get so emotionally, mentally or physically even drained by others' behavior, changing season, or just by situations outside. So, and at that time we don't have that mental strength to sail through it, and we look for somebody to guide us and lean upon that psychological or emotionally on others to help us in that situation. But when you do these practices, gradually what happens is you get the clarity of the mind, and you can start dealing with the situation in a very calm way because your mind is free of clutter, and then maybe you can look at situation in a different angle. Sometimes the turmoil can be so much, and we feel at crossroads of life, and or the stability, we don't have the stability. But as you advance your practices, you feel more and more stability building in you, and then probably you can support others in difficult times. So the purpose of the whole thing, I wanted to show that these simple techniques, and breath is so very important, and we don't realize that, like how our breathing pattern, it changes when we are stressed out or when we are low mood. So just by changing the breathing pattern, we can actually get back to normal state of the mind. And gradually you start looking at solution from within you, and rather than leaning on somebody for directions. As I have mentioned that mind is the root cause for everything, and then our life is a manifestation of what kind of mind we have. So and all the so whenever an impulse happens from outside, that can be any disturbance on anybody else's behavior, it hits our mind like an allergen, like how we get allergic reaction or something, and then our mind produces a reaction to it. So yoga and meditation teaches us how to respond to a situation rather than react to a situation, because you kind of start detaching yourself from the outside impulses and start taking it in a different way. It's a very beautiful journey, and more you practice, more you realize that you are in control of your mind, and it's all about becoming the master of your mind and your body, your thoughts and your emotions. And everything becomes easier, like your decision making, you get clarity of thoughts. So what I can do is send you final feedback, and then I'll close this group end of the month, because I'll be starting another group next month and I want to invest time in that. And what next for this group? So it's highly recommended you continue this kind of practice. You can do your own research. There are lots of meditation techniques, but they're mostly the breath, concentration on the breath is the easiest one, or guided meditation. And read some kind of book related to yoga. There are a lot of books, but a few books I can recommend, which I will give information to on my closing remark if you want to advance your practices. And you have to understand one thing. Normally we say evidence-based practice, but for yoga it's opposite. It's practice-based evidence. So basically you cannot rely on anybody else telling things or practicing and then telling you what's happening. It's more you practice, more evidence you get, and more habit you develop. So have that habit every day. Keep that fire burning to sit with yourself every day for 15-20 minutes. And gradually what you'll see is you'll get your answers by yourself, and all your questions start disappearing because you'll get the answers to your questions right there. So start working on your final task. We have completed the 21 days, and I'm looking forward to hear from all of you. Thank you so much, and namaste.